it's Ken again, your Trudge therapist. If you've been following these videos, you already know that this isn't about fixing yourself or someone or anything. It's about remembering yourself. It's about feeling and discovering that the place you feel most broken is also the place where space is created so that something beautiful can grow. In the last video, I introduced the 4 principles. Ways to relate to yourself when life feels overwhelming, if not impossible. Today, I want to share with you something that can help you live those principles, day by day, moment by moment. I call them the 4 Ps. These 4 Ps are small practices you can start using right now. They don't require hours of meditation. They don't require you to become someone new overnight. They only require a willingness to pause and to be with yourself differently in a renewed kind of way. Let's walk through each one together. The 4th P is permission. Permission is the essence of I'm learning to listen and the beginning of self-compassion. It's about giving yourself internal space to see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel without apology. Sometimes this can become very overwhelming. But what I've found is the sooner you learn to give permission to see, hear, and feel what needs to be seen, heard, and felt, the less power those experiences have over your day-to-day life. When you give yourself permission, you say, it's okay that I'm sad. It's okay that I'm exhausted. It's okay that I don't have it all figured out. For me, permission was the first time I stopped telling myself to get over it and simply said, I see, hear, and feel this. And I'm allowed to be human. The 2nd P is presence. Presence means leaning your attention into this moment. Instead of rehearsing the past, often the root of despair, or catastrophizing the future, the root of worry, fear, and insecurity, presence is the essence of meet me here. It asks, what is true? What is real right now? Now, what was true 10 years ago was 10 years ago. So not what was true 10 years ago and not what might be true tomorrow, just now. And one of the simplest ways to practice presence is to be specific about what you pay attention to in this moment. For instance, to feel your feet, for instance. Now, wait, I don't mean broadly speaking. I mean the way you feel the bottom of your feet touch the soles of your shoes or the specific surface beneath you. To notice your breath, specifically the tip top of the breath just as the inhale crests over and into the exhale, or the tip bottom of the breath just as the exhale briefly pauses before transitioning back into a new inhale. The thing I don't hear anyone really saying about breath work, and if they are, it should be said more often, is that your breath, just like your attention, is a gateway. One we may travel through and into an awareness of being within ourselves, just by following the breath. Maybe hearing it as you create a light constriction of the throat, like you're fogging a window, or perhaps the feeling the ebbing and flowing of movement, of rhythm in your body. And sometimes being present is experienced simply by taking a look around the space you occupy, naming what you see, and hearing what you hear. For me, I love to pause, extend my exhale a few breaths, and just listen to birds, how they chirp and sing, communicate with each other, or the sound of water. It helps ground me into a state of simply being present. No fixing, no managing, no controlling. Now, presence doesn't solve everything. There's this misconception with mindfulness practicing of being intentionally aware and present that I often hear, that being present means to be without thought or worry or feeling stressed. And that could not be farther from the truth. Being mindful is simply being present with what is. And those that practice this, the best find themselves better able to move at the pace of guidance when life happens, without falling apart. Presence anchors you to reality, instead of the stories despair and fear often tell us. Presence fuels the permission you provide yourself so you can truly, honestly discern what comes next. The third P is protection. Protection is about learning to move at a pace that's healthy for you by setting appropriate expectations and creating necessary boundaries, both internally and externally. Internally, it means learning to notice the voice of your inner critic and say, I see you, I hear you, and I feel you, inner critic, but you don't get to drive right now. I need you to watch me, to trust me. I don't have the answers, but I can choose what is healthy for us in this moment. Externally, it means deciding which relationships, environments, and commitments are no longer healthy, even safe for your nervous system. When I was rebuilding my life, protection looked like letting go of relationships where I didn't feel seen, heard, or felt. Conversations that were harmful, and people, places, and things that didn't align with my values. It looked like saying, not today, to people who didn't respect my needs or healing. And it looked like creating space to breathe. You see, protection isn't selfish. I mean, everyone is selfish all the time because all behavior has a purpose, and everything you do because you get something from it. More on that in the book, in the Trudge Paradox. But for now, protection, as I see it, is an act of love, and love is an act of consideration. And learning to move at your own pace of guidance, to take yourself into consideration, is the pathway to healing and creating the life that you can finally call your own. The fourth P is peace. Now, peace doesn't mean nothing hurts, and peace is certainly not the absence of stress. Peace is the quiet you find when you stop fighting the truth of your experience, when you allow permission, presence, and protection to guide you. Peace often follows, and trust then grows. Not because life is suddenly perfect, but because you're no longer at war with yourself. Forget everyone else. And through this process, I've learned that peace isn't a destination. It's something you choose again and again in the middle of your trudge. These 4 Ps aren't magic. They're practices. And like any practice, they get easier the more you return to them. So if you can remember anything from this, let it be this. You deserve to be met with gentleness, with consideration, even here, especially here. In the next video, I'm going to share something that might surprise you, may even create a little controversy. It's why traditional talk therapy, while often helpful, sometimes falls short in creating lasting transformation. I'll also explain how my approach weaves together reflection, embodiment, and paradox to support personal, ongoing, transformative change. Until then, I hope you give yourself permission, presence, protection, and peace today and every day. Trudge on and be the paradox.